Is your inner child still hurting? Are they still calling you, trying to tug your awareness, tug your emotions, trying to wake you up to help them heal, to help them transform so that your life could be better? If you're not sure if that's the case, I'm going to try and help you figure that out in this video and giving you the signs, the top signs that your inner child is still calling you and seeking out your attention to help you with your healing, basically. That's what they want for us, to grow, to heal. Welcome, sisters. My name is Ya'ara. I'm a spiritual healer. I guide women through their inner healing journey, through their transformation, and I help them transform their inner war into inner peace. So I teach inner peacemaking. I am half of this creation called LifeBloom Community for Real Women. Because I say half, because the other half is my sister, Rakefet. She's a spiritual leader, an amazing person that I love. Of course, she's my sister. So if you're new here, please hit that like button, that subscribe. Click on that bell so that you'll be notified when we upload another video. And let's dive into it. So, is your inner child still hurting? First of all, if you're here and you even have this question within you, probably yes, it's probably still hurting. But the truth is that no matter how many years of inner work you have behind you, and I've been doing inner child work for well over a decade, it's still hurting. It still needs something. There are parts within me that still need healing. Of course, it's an ever-ending work. Sometimes it's the inner child, then it's the inner teen, and parts of us are always in motion. That's why growth and self-development is an ever-ending journey, right? It's not a goal that you can set and get there and be done with it. Sure, there are steps along the way. There are micro goals, but it's a lifelong journey. It's actually more than a lifelong journey. It's a way of living, being in constant observation, being in inner learning, in constant communication with myself, listening to my emotions, getting very close to my body, getting very close to my inner child. It's an ever growing journey, and it's a life form. It's a process. It's the way that we are and the way that we move in this world, the way that we live and see our eyes. And I think that's something that I and my sister, we know very well to do. And that's why we help people do that. So let's look at some signs that your inner child might be calling you. The first way your inner child might be trying to communicate with you is by sending memories into your awareness. It could be through actual memories coming up. It could be through flashbacks. It could be through dreams. It could be a scent of something that hits an emotional trigger within you. A word you heard in a song, or someone said near your scope, your environment, and something clicked within you. So it's like triggers, but it could be also a positive trigger. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative, a painful trigger. But it's kind of like your emotions are trying to speak to you through flashbacks, through your environment, or just through your dreams. You know, you could be dreaming of something specific that happened, and you could be dreaming of that particular moment again and again, or you could be dreaming a particular feeling again and again. Maybe there is kind of like this emotional environment that you keep getting feedbacks from the surroundings that awaken these emotions within you. Or maybe, just like I said, flashbacks, actual flashbacks into your past. And sometimes it could also be into past that you don't even remember. Maybe it's suppressed and you decided not to touch it for many years, so it's not very clear to you where it came from. But if your inner child is knocking on your inner door through these flashbacks, through these memories, then they're trying to convey something. They're trying to send you a message. So you might want to listen. The second way that the inner child might be telling you that it's hurting, the second way you could notice that your inner child is still hurting, is through emotional responses. And I want to emphasize and say maybe even an emotional roller coaster. Strong emotions could be swinging you from side to side. One moment you're happy, and then you're disappointment, and then you're ashamed, and these kind of powerful emotions that sometimes feel like they might be even jumping on you. eating you, and you're not even clear how to try and navigate this. And maybe it's not the way that you are on a regular basis. I hope it's not the way that you are on a regular basis. Maybe day to day there's more stability there, but in some cases, or with some specific topics, with some specific people, or just in a period in your life where your emotions are in a complete roller coaster, and it's very, very hard to control them. And you just, first of all, it feels very uncomfortable, but also it's hard to manage your daily life like that. And it's hard to feel like you can trust yourself within that. It's a very strong way that your inner child might be saying, I'm hurting, look at me. Actually, the way that we were as children, children are they're not really great at navigating difficult emotions and regulating their own emotions. So that's exactly the pattern that's coming up, just that difficulty to navigate and to regulate your own emotions. It's just you being kind of drawn back into that child mode to try and awaken you and tell you, hey, look here, I need your attention. So the third way that you might be noticing in your life, the third pattern you might be noticing in your life that can tell you that your inner child is wounded and they still are calling your help, is having self-sabotaging patterns in your life. For example, it could be you have serious difficulty with setting boundaries. You could be people pleasing. You could be carrying a lot of feelings of guilt and fear of conflict, low self-esteem, difficulty feeling self-compassion, self-love, giving a lot of conditions to your self-love, always fearing that others put conditions to their love to you. A lot of things that just are self-sabotaging patterns. Ways where you don't show up for yourself, ways that you don't support yourself, conditions that you put upon yourself. All of these things, this is you replicating the conditions that you had in your childhood. And this actually means that they're not healed yet. This inner child is still there, still feeling these conditions. And that's what they're acting out. This self-sabotage is actually just a mirror to the past. It's a mirror to the things you used to feel in the past. They're still there. They're still here. So they're calling for your help. Now, the fourth way that you might be noticing, the fourth thing you might be noticing in your experience, in your daily life, that could be a sign that your inner child is still wounded, is holding on to feelings of shame and guilt on things that happened in the past, and it could be in the far away past, but you're just struggling to let go. Struggling to let go is a very, very, very dominant way for the child to tell you that it's wounded. Think of a child right now that is crying and is in a tantrum and is holding on to his mama's leg, and it's not letting go for dear life. No matter what's happening, they're feeling like, this is my anchor, I must hold on. It's a very similar feeling to that. The fear, the shame, the guilt, fear of letting go. You're just not able to let go of these feelings regarding something that might be silly, might be very, very far away in the past, might be something that you've tried to process many times, but you're still holding on to it. Why are you still holding on to it? Because your inner child does not feel maybe that you're worthy enough to let go, maybe that it's safe enough to let go, and maybe it doesn't know how to let go because it wasn't given a strong enough foundation to know how to move on from difficult emotions, how to process and to regulate difficult emotions. Like we said in the beginning, the emotional roller coaster, it doesn't know how to regulate. So same here, it doesn't know how to regulate difficult emotions like fear and shame and guilt. So it's holding on to it, and it's still showing up in your life today, possibly years after. So if you're noticing these kind of things happening in your life where you're holding on to guilt and shame for something that happened in the far past, then know that you need to do some inner child work. Now, the fifth way that you could notice in your life that your inner child is still wounded is by having difficulties with relationships, creating healthy relationships. And why is that? First of all, we talked about having trouble setting boundaries. A healthy relationship also has boundaries because there's me and there's you. If we mash into one, that's not going to be healthy for a long time. But also because of that fear of being left alone, because of that fear of having your love is always conditional. You're only loved under conditions. So you always have to match some kind of desired self in order to be loved. Maybe there are a lot of emotional triggers that rise up in your relationship, and you don't really know how to navigate them, because relationships are a very strong growth catalysator. Relationships make us grow, and if strong emotions, maybe there is sometimes anger there, if these strong emotions rise up and you don't know how to navigate them, then that's going to be difficult to create a healthy relationship through that. You might be fearing that they're going to leave all the time, feeling like you have to tiptoe around them, or feeling like you have to be someone to make them love you, or feeling like you have to cling on to them like you had to cling on to your parents. So basically what you're doing there is, again, mirroring the relationship that you had with your parents, or you might be going to the exact opposite, might be trying to prove that that's not the case, it's not the way that it used to be, by being completely the opposite. And that's not helping you. It's not allowing you to create a healthy relationship where you grow together, where the interaction is honest, where you can share from your heart, listen from your heart, where it's safe, where you feel safe, where you feel seen, where you feel validated, where you feel like you have a space to be you. These things don't feel like they work out in that type of relationship. So that could be a sign that your inner child is wounded. It's not necessarily a sign that the relationship has something bad in it in the core. It's better to look at yourself for a moment and check. I'm not saying that in every relationship, right? Some relationships are just dysfunctional because the match is not right there. But sometimes it's always best, I feel, to look at yourself and check, is it something within me? Is it something within my past? Is it something within my inner child that I need to work on? Because if it's coming with you from one relationship to the next, and it's not just this relationship that it's affected by this, then it's your inner patterns that need some work on. And that's your inner child telling you, hey, look here, I've got your answers. So come, connect with me, look at the things that I've experienced in my childhood, and let's work through that together so that you can change your present and your future. So how will you do that? How will you reconnect with your inner child? I have a full video on this. I have a great video about 5 daily habits to help you reconnect with your inner child. These are really like micro habits, things that you can do every day that are small enough to help you open the door to conversation with your inner child. But what you want to look at in the overall, I'm going to link that, of course. I'm going to link that up here, going to link that down there. So you can go ahead and watch that next. 5 daily habits to reconnect with your inner child. But what you want to do in the overall scope, number 1 is you want to open the door to a communication with your inner child. If you haven't done that yet, if you haven't done any inner child work, that might take some time, okay? And honestly, I'm just telling you from my own experience, when I just started doing inner child work, it took me 3 months for her to be able to trust me. At first, she sat like that, angry, don't want to look at me, don't want to hear you. But with these habits, with this daily work, with this keep inquiring, keep listening, keep coming closer to her, I was able to build a strong enough foundation of trust and respect, and holding a space for her to trust me and be able to feel safe enough to come close to me. So go ahead and watch that video on how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is open the door and start building a foundation of trust within yourself and your inner child, trust and safety. The second thing you want to do is to get this into a daily motion. Get moving. Come closer, come closer, come closer, come closer. Start being in an intimate connection with your inner child, not just when they're wounded and hurting and screaming at you, but a daily intimate connection with your inner child. And the third thing you want to do is now you want to work a little bit deeper when you have a topic that's hurting and you notice this pattern about self-sabotage, go deep into that. You notice a pattern about your relationships, go deep into that. But you're going to have to start with building a foundation that's honest and where there's trust and safety. Now, I have a meditation for you that is a 5-minute meditation to meet your inner child, where you're actually going to be sitting in front of your inner child, looking into their eyes and have the opportunity to speak to them. Maybe it'll be easy, maybe it'll be difficult. You won't know until you try, but you're going to have to go through that door if you really want to do this work. So go ahead and watch that video next. Thank you for being here with me. I hope truly that this video touched you. Please leave a comment down below. What is the most challenging thing for you about reconnecting with your inner child? Where do you find struggle there, so that I can support you in the places that you really need them? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you still haven't done that yet, and go ahead and watch the inner child meditation next. Bye bye.